Stories are compelling. They engage with people. They stick. I read a book a few years ago called Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall. Highly, highly recommend. The point of the book is that it is not sales copy or bullet points that are going to sell something. It is, in fact, story. We, as authors of all people, should know that stories sell, right? Readers don't buy your book because it has 82,000 words and a clever plot twist. They buy it because they know it's going to make them feel something, right? That same emotional pull is what makes your marketing work. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Bourbon. I'm a best-selling author, writing coach, book cover designer, founder of Writer Spark Academy, lots of things. Welcome to Marketing Monday. This is where we talk about building visibility that feels authentic and creative to help you sell books. This month, we're diving into story-driven marketing, how to use your storyteller's heart to connect with readers long before they even open your book. Please remember to like and subscribe and share this channel with your writing buddies. I really do believe it takes a village. We are all part of that village. Okay, let's think about why emotion connects. Think about the last time you bought a book. I will bet that you didn't make a spreadsheet of word counts and genres. You probably saw a cover, you read a blurb, you felt something. It promised something, whether it was comfort or curiosity or mystery or, a thrill or escape. It promised you something. And that emotion created trust. You knew you'd be getting a story about something intriguing or appealing to you. As writers, we make a promise to the readers, right? There is the promise of the premise. And if we don't deliver that, then we have failed our readers. When we pick up a book, that is what we expect. Now, we can take this concept and apply it to our marketing. When you tell small, genuine stories in your marketing, why you wrote a book, the inspiration behind a character, what it means to you, you are inviting readers into your world and you're bringing them into sort of your trust circle. That is what we want. That is how stories connect. There are 3 easy ways to weave storytelling into your marketing. The first is the origin arc. So you want to tell how your story began. For example, you might say, I started writing this book on a napkin in a cafe because I couldn't stop thinking about a woman who finds a ghost in her bread shop. That's connection. My origin story or my origin arc is I started writing in a coffee shop with a good friend. We both had little babies and we used writing prompts from books. Before long, I had a character and then she had a brother and then a family. So it started with character. Watch this video about character. And it grew from there. So that is how I started. And when I tell that origin story, it helps people connect with me and how this story, my Lola Cruz series, came to be. Okay, the second marketing arc is the transformation arc. With this, you show growth. You share how writing or researching changed you or how your character's journey mirrors something universal. With one of my Lola Cruz stories, Bare Naked Lola, I actually went to a nudist resort, or they called it a naturist resort, to kind of do some research because part of the story led Lola to a nudist resort. So I went there, I researched, I got all kinds of interesting information. So it was a super, super interesting experience because October at a nudist resort, probably any time at a nudist resort is pretty interesting. They have nude stock, they walk around with a towel, all kinds of interesting things I learned. And so when I share what I learned, that is growth on my part from the research that I did. And I can share how it applied to that particular book. And people love that story. The third is the community arc. And this is where you include readers into your world. You invite them in. So you ask them questions, invite them to share their favorite cozy reads, create a conversation. You want that 2-way conversation. And that is one of the best things about your newsletter list because you can create those 2-way conversations. People want to belong to your story. They don't want to just read it. So bringing them into your world is connection. Okay, if we think about emotion instead of information, let's look at an example. Here is a straightforward caption. Flower in the Attic is book 5 in the Bread Shop Mysteries, and it is available now. Okay, great. I might put that on a pin. But what if I do a story-driven version? When I wrote Flower in the Attic, I wanted to explore how grief can hide in plain sight, sometimes behind laughter, sometimes behind cinnamon rolls. Which one is more interesting? Hopefully, you thought the second. Hopefully, that was more intriguing to you and makes you a little bit more curious. Now, I could tell my growth arc with that too, because I came up with this whole idea in the Colorado airport, the Denver airport, watching a news show with the captions playing. And the story was about a woman who was under investigation. I think she had just been arrested for some bad acts at a funeral home. And that sparked the entire idea. So when I talk about that, I am making a secondary connection. This is what emotion-based marketing is all about. It's about making connections with the readers. Okay, but how do you do it? Well, here's how you start weaving story into your marketing this week. First, write a blog post, which is what I recommend. Social media is fine and it's good for this kind of marketing, although watch this video for more about why I'm not a huge fan of social media marketing. But still, this can work on socials, but I really, really encourage you to work with blogs. Okay, first, you want to share a why story behind your book or brand. So think about that why, what led you to this series, what led you to what you write, what led you to a particular story. And then replace a sales post or create a new post or create a pin on Pinterest with a mini story about how you felt writing it. So take that information and turn it into a marketing moment. And then watch how engagement changes. Now, if you watch my Pinterest Marketing Monday videos, then you know that Pinterest is a long game. So you might not see that impact right away, but it will happen. And if you are on social media and you use this method, then you'll definitely see an uptick. People love those personal stories, right? So you're going to see an uptick in your engagement. The bottom line is readers are going to remember how you make them feel. And that is what we're trying to tap into. That is what story-based marketing is all about. Okay, that's kind of the foundation. Next week, we're going to talk about turning your writing journey into content that is going to attract readers, particularly on Pinterest, but you can apply it elsewhere as well. And if you'd like help finding your authentic story voice for marketing, grab my free storytelling framework for authors below. It is a quick worksheet, basically, that helps you craft stories that sell without feeling salesy. And that's a balance that you've got to strike. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell, storytelling as a marketing framework. Until next time, keep writing, keep sharing, share my channel, remember to subscribe, and keep telling your stories, and happy writing and happy pinning if you have ventured into Pinterest. I'll see you next time.
Ain't never needed Poppy's blessing, no. You need keep working just to get it, though. I know she carried your whole world.